great love and joy, I especially welcome you to worship with us at Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu. This is a true family church, a true spiritual home. Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu is home to exuberant prayers, deep and true worship. A house of prayer that will leave you feeling refreshed. Our first service starts at 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. and our second service starts at 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Wednesdays, we have our midweek service from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and every Friday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. we have our night of glory. This is the church you have been looking for. This is the place for your spiritual growth and maturity. See you this Sunday and karibu sana.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe, watazamaji wa EBN. Kwa majina naitwa Pastor Julius Mutuko. Na nataka kukaribisha kwa kipindi ambacho tutakuwa tukisikiliza neno la Mungu kila siku ya Ijumaa na Jumamosi kuanzia saa 3:30 jioni hadi saa 4:30 kila siku kwa lisali moja. Na hivyo tukiangazia true worship ama kuabudu halisi, ambapo tukiangalia Biblia kitabu cha Yohana 4:23-24, Yesu alipokuwa akiongea na mwanamke Msamaria, alimwambia wakati unakuja ambapo watu watamwabudu Baba katika roho na kweli. Kwa maana Baba ni roho, ama Mungu ni roho, na yuwatafuta watu kama hao ili wakamwabudu. So njoo nami tuweze kujua kuabudu halisi ni nini kwa siku hizo. Karibuni nyote in Jesus name. Asanteni.
You are watching EBN TV, transforming your world.
Welcome back, and apologies for the sound issue. I hope that you can now hear me loud and clear on this 23rd day of June 2023. You're watching Morning Live. We've got a lot in store for you this morning. I'll be taking a look at some of the stories making headlines, and then we'll look at the newspapers, who is saying what, who is on top of the page and why. And then later on, I'll be joined by a model in studio so that she can take us through her journey. Her name is Nicole Israel Odhiambo, and that is an interview that you want to stick around for on Arts Friday. All about modeling, the art of modeling, what you need to know if you are an aspiring model. That is a conversation that is just for you later on in the broadcast. Watch this bulletin live on Facebook and on YouTube on EBN TV. Your SMS is highly welcomed. SMS line is 23993. I'm Cynhia Nanjala. Let's get started. Now we begin off from what is happening over maize flour prices. Now, Kenyans will most likely continue to grapple with the high cost of maize flour, as Cereal Millers Association now says the government has failed to pay for the supply they made during last year's subsidy program. The government on its side says there is a discrepancy on the figures and that over 600 million shillings under the program is unaccounted for. And until this is sorted, the millers may have to wait a little bit longer.
The millers have been unable to purchase sufficient maize from local market due to cash flow constraints. Now, this has resulted in an imbalance in the stock set by millers, which will in the long run drive up the prices of maize flour. 2, Mr. Chairman, the finance cost of the millers has increased, implying a higher cost of production. 3, in the absence of the millers in the market to buy up local maize stocks due to lack of finances, the opportunity will arise where traders may take advantage from farmers while speculating the market for the millers to buy at a higher rate, and the end result would be the high cost of unga.
So several figures do not tally. The amount of unga produced in accordance with the ministry is different from what was produced in accordance with the NCPB, from what was produced in accordance with the millers.
Honestly, this was a fraud. That is my position, and I have to be honest, I have a conscience. Because you have seen the shenanigans that are permanently involved in these flower subsidies every time is subsidy to give people, but it's an opening for fraud.
Now, Azimio Chief Principals, led by NARC Kenya Party leader Martha Karua, have yet again announced the possible return of their weekly anti-government demonstrations. This follows the passing of the Finance Bill 2023 in the National Assembly earlier this week. According to the Azimio leaders, the Kenya Kwanza government has failed to deliver on their promises on the skyrocketing cost of living.
The Ruto regime ensured that the wishes of the people were ignored. Instead, they retained punitive taxes on fuel, on housing, on turnover, on salaries, among others. This is like showing the people of Kenya the contempt card. The people can lament, plead, pray, and even picket to be listened to and still be ignored. This has never been seen in our country before. In the run-up to the voting on the finance bill, various polls showed that more than 90% of Kenyans rejected the finance bill. We have decided to invite Kenyans to a consultation at the Kamukuji grounds next Tuesday, the 27th of June at 10 a.m., where the next course of action will be decided. Whenever, as a people, we have come together, we have always found a solution, even to our worst problems. This time will be no different. We believe that in the end, it is the people's voices that will prevail. The only time we have suffered longer than we should is only when we have allowed dictators to rule longer than they should. And it is only when divide and rule succeeds. We must not let that to happen. The people can never be helpless in their own country against rogue leadership. Not in a democracy like ours.
Now, it will be quite interesting to see how that one pans out. Even as they say, on the 27th, they'll be heading to Kamukunji grounds and will give a direction on their next course of action, even as the Trade Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria has dared the Azimio la Umoja team to head to the streets for protest. So we'll be keeping tabs with that and bringing you the latest as and when it develops. Embattled Cynhia Deputy Governor William Oduol has swiftly denied purchasing his office chair at a whopping 1.1 million shillings, as claimed by members of the Cynhia County Assembly. According to Oduol, there must have been a typing error, as the alleged cost must have been for 3 chairs. According to the county documents, William Oduol spent 18 million shillings to refurbish his office once elected, alongside the the Governor James Orengo. This comes in the wake of power wrangles between Deputy Governor William Oduol and his Governor James Orengo, with Oduol claiming that Orengo has been colluding with the county staffs to defraud the devolved unit.
At the beginning was a request for purchase of carpets and tiles, turned to be about procuring chairs, presidential desks, and there is no president in Cynhia at the moment, to the tune of up to 1.12 million Kenya shillings, one single chair.
We must again be guided by the rules of natural justice. It is not that the county assembly is able to make its case as it goes on.
False information.
When you notice that the tree is bending at the inceptive stage, cut it early. They decided they will not complain about devolution 5 years into the term of the new government. They decided, and we will demonstrate to you, that the parameters for removal had been achieved.
I'm not sure whether the type of language that he's now using is parliamentary language.
Mr. Chairman, the nature of my impeachment at the county assembly level was narrow, ill-informed, limited, misguided, and choreographed to favor those abetting high crimes. I have been targeted simply because I am opposed to maladministration. The great people of Cynhia County, freedom is coming home. Some of our forefathers who fought for liberation never lived to enjoy it. I am prepared to pay the ultimate price to defend your constitutional rights and privileges.
Now, elsewhere, residents of Kamulu, Makongo, Kipawa area have been left in fear after unknown people vandalized Kenya Power transformers within the area. The incident is said to have happened in the wee hours of the morning, and the police have been urged to move with speed and manage the situation, as many businesses within the area depend on electricity. This comes barely days after Kenya Power recovered property worth 11 million shillings at a scrap metal yard in Denderu in Kiambu County.
Nimeamka asubuhi nikakuta stima hakuna. Ndio nikapata report ati mahali transformer ilikuwa iko chini. Nimekuja hapa na kweli nikakuta the shell ya transformer iko hapa, nuts na mabati ile ilikuwa imefunga yako hapa. Kaelezwa wale walisikia usiku kitu saa mimi nilikuwa nimelala saa hizo saa 7 sikujua ikienda, na nikasikia ati stima ya hii stima ilipotea kama saa 7. Inaonekana kama vile tunasikia kuna wale wanauziwa hii inaitwa aluminium nini copper. Tulikuwa tukiona kama hii mtu sijui ni wa China alikuwa ananunua hivi. Hii serikali inatakikana ichukue hatua kali. Ikiwa mtu anakuja kutoa kitu ya bei kidogo na mtu mwingine wengine wanaenda kujitayarisha.
Mimi ni mkaaji wa hapa. Ni area inaitwa Kipawa, Makongo Kipawa. Na mimi ni kiongozi wa nyumba 10 ama Neoda. Na leo asubuhi ya leo tukianza kama kitu saa 3 ya usiku kulikuwa na stima ilikuwa na shida. Kwa inakuja ikipotea inakuja dim. Lakini hatuku notice. Mwendo wa kitu saa 7 kielekea saa 8 ya usiku stima zikapotea. Na wakati zilipotea tukujua haswa karibu nini. Lakini asubuhi mtu mmoja wa area hii alipita kwangu akaniambia ni report kwamba stima kuna transformer iko pale kwa junction ambao imetolewa mafuta, na wakaaji wakajitokeza na tukaona ukweli transformer imekuwa dismantled, vitu ya ndani zimeenda na hatuna stima kwa wakati huu. Kwa hivyo tuwaomba wafanyikazi wa stima Kenya Power, tafadhali tuangalie area hii, na askari wa Kamulu na area hii kwa chief. Tumesha ripoti hizi incidents zote na tunaomba mtuchurikie kwa muda unaofaa, kwa sababu sisi tunategemea stima kwa manyumba yetu. Wafanyikazi wa welding, wa jua kali, tutakuwa na shida. Tafadhali mtusikize viongozi wote, mkuje mtusaidie wakati huu tupate stima ama transformer on time. Na wakaaji wa area na muomba tafadhali, jambo ikitokea wacheneni kunyamaza, pigeni report, tuelezeni ndio mambo ichukuliwe. Incident ya security si askari peke yake, ni yetu sisi wakaaji wa hapa na askari na machief wa area hii, na tukichikiana hii jambo itakoma. Tafadhali. Jambo la kwanza kufanyika hapa kwa sasa hii ni jambo ya kwanza kufanyika. Hatujaisikia ingine. Tunasikia tu padi zingine kama Kiambu, lakini hii ndio ya kwanza ile ya Kamulu.
Now let's take a look at what is happening on the newspapers this morning. The Daily Nation, The Standard and The Star, quite intriguing topics. And I'll begin with the Daily Nation, which says Raila, the wounded general. Politics opposition set to hold rally in the city next week. Has he been cornered? Azimio chief Raila Odinga appears to be losing his political grip amid an onslaught by President William Ruto. His troops in parliament are shifting loyalties, while his traditional vote bastions are slowly being chipped away. Is he down and out, or will he fight back? Raila, the wounded general. Now, according to Martha Karua, she says, we are going back to the people, and the only time we have suffered longer than we should, the only time we have allowed dictators to rule us longer than they should is when they have been divided. But people can never be helpless in their own country against their own leaders, not in a democracy like ours, not even in a dictatorship as they are trying to recreate. And that is Azimio Deputy Leader Martha Karua. Also top of the page, brace yourself for a new reality as Ruto taxes take effect. Now, they've given a sample of a payslip of somebody earning a gross salary of about 50,000 shillings. Now, in these new recommendations, about 6,800 shillings will go to the income tax, what we call pay as you earn. NHIF deductions will be at 1,375, NSSF deductions at 1,080 shillings, housing fund at 750, as well as other deductions, or rather the total deductions will be at 10,084. So if you're earning a gross salary of 50,000 Kenyan shillings in the reviewed taxes, you will take home 39,916 shillings. Previously, you'd take home about 41,000 shillings. For someone earning a gross salary of about 100,000 Kenyan shillings, will have to pay an income tax of 23,125, NHIF deduction of 2,750, NSSF deduction of 1,080 shillings, housing fund at 1,500 shillings, total deductions at 28,000. So if you're earning a salary of about 100,000 Kenyan shillings, at the end of the day, you'll take home 71,000 Kenyan shillings. And this is the new reality taking effect from this financial year. 16.7 billion shillings for elderly orphans released, even as within the corridors of courts. DJ Elvolve says, I did not see Babu Owino shoot me. And that is a case that has been in court, as well as unga prices to shoot up as millers warn of a looming maize shortage. To the Standard, hustlers' pain begins. With the finance bill set to be signed into law by President William Ruto, Kenyans are bracing themselves for full impact of approximately 12 shillings a litre rise in cost of fuel, which will push up the cost of transport, production and essential commodities, even as salaried workers are hit by housing tax. So the 3% new turnover tax on small businesses takes effect with income of between 1 million shillings and 25 million shillings. The excise duty on imported sugar at 5 shillings takes effect. The 1.5 housing tax takes effect. The 5,000 shillings advance tax for commercial vehicles set to push up transport costs, even as the expected VAT on fuel is raised to 16% from 8% previously. Hustler pain begins. So what they're trying to say is tighten your belts, because you will be affected. Oduol, Siaya MCS bribed to finish me. He says even as he has to battle himself against claims of a 1.1 million shillings chair he bought. Confusion rocks schools as learners sent home early. Questions abound as some schools send learners home for midterm break nearly a week early, with some citing inadequate funding and the ongoing sub-county musical festival, in addition to the upcoming teachers conference. Ruto tough stand at climate talks, even as Ngugi wa Thiong'o says, don't cry for me, cry for my country. The Star this morning talks about why remarrying will be costly in a proposed new law. Widower or widow stands to lose right to own property of a deceased spouse. The wealth of your dead spouse will be out of reach. If you get married and unfortunately your partner dies and leaves you behind with the property, if you remarry again after the death, you're likely to lose the property of your deceased partner. So that is why the Star is reading why remarrying will be costly in the proposed new law. Clash looms as Azimio calls big rally over taxes. Chebukati name has earned me favors, the wife says, even as the body of a missing woman found dumped in a river. And thrilled Gachagua flags off safari rally at Uhuru Park. And that is the latest on what is making headlines across the newspapers. Basically, the tax debate continues, or the budget 2023-2024 conversation continues. How does it affect you? What will your salary look like post June, as well as some of these key proposals that were made to the bill that will see you part away with money one way or the other. So that is what is happening across the newspapers this morning. Now, at this point, I'd love to take a quick breather, but do stay with us. After the break, we'll be getting into a conversation with our fast rising fashion model, Nicole Israel Odhiambo. What does it take for you to walk down that runway, for you to be in front of those cameras? That conversation coming up after the break. Stay with us. Your feedback should start coming in through our SMS line 23993, as well as on Facebook and on YouTube on EBN TV. Morning Live takes a break. We'll be back in a few.
With great love and joy, I specially welcome you to worship with us at Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu. This is a true family church, a true spiritual home. Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu is home to exuberant prayers, deep and true worship. A house of prayer that will leave you feeling refreshed. Our first service starts at 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. and our second service starts at 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Wednesdays, we have our midweek service from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and every Friday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. we have our night of glory. This is the church you have been looking for. This is the place for your spiritual growth and maturity. See you this Sunday and karibu sana.
Faith for today is a show to look at what is going on in your life and what needs the intervention of God in your life.
Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the proof of things we do not see.
We are here for you. We are not here only for ourselves.
We are live every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 a.m. We boost your faith.
It is time to revive your faith.
Faith is for now, faith is for today. God has given us the breath of life.
Your faith today, live with Reverend Felix Kavoy.
You are watching EBN TV, transforming your world.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe, watazamaji wa EBN. Kwa majina naitwa Pastor Julius Mutuko, na nataka kukaribisha kwa kipindi ambacho tutakuwa tukisikiliza neno la Mungu kila siku ya Ijumaa na Jumamosi kuanzia saa 3:30 jioni hadi saa 4:30 kila siku kwa lisali moja, na hivyo tukiangazia true worship ama kuabudu halisi, ambapo tukiangalia Biblia kitabu cha Yohana 4:23-24, Yesu alipokuwa akiongea na mwanamke Msamaria, alimwambia wakati unakuja ambapo watu watamwabudu Baba katika roho na kweli, kwa maana Baba ni roho ama Mungu ni roho, na yuwatafuta watu kama hao ili wakamwabudu. So jo nami tukaweze kujua kuabudu halisi ni nini kwa siku hizo. Karibuni nyote in Jesus name. Asanteni.
With great love and joy, I specially welcome you to worship with us at Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu. This is a true family church, a true spiritual home. Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu is home to exuberant prayers, deep and true worship. A house of prayer that will leave you feeling refreshed. Our first service starts at 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. and our second service starts at 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Wednesdays, we have our midweek service from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and every Friday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. we have our night of glory. This is the church you have been looking for. This is the place for your spiritual growth and maturity. See you this Sunday and karibu sana.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe, watazamaji wa EBN. kwa majina naitwa Pastor Julius Mutuko, na nataka kukaribisha kwa kipindi ambacho tutakuwa tukisikiliza neno la Mungu kila siku ya Ijumaa na Jumamosi kuanzia saa 3:30 jioni hadi saa 4:30 kila siku kwa lisali moja, na hivyo tukiangazia true worship ama kuabudu halisi, ambapo tukiangalia Biblia kitabu cha Yohana 4:23-24, Yesu alipokuwa akiongea na mwanamke Msamaria alimwambia wakati unakuja ambapo watu watamwabudu Baba katika roho na kweli, kwa maana Baba ni roho ama Mungu ni roho, na yuwatafuta watu kama hao ili wakamwabudu. So Joe nami tukaweze kujua kuabudu halisi ni nini kwa siku hizo. Karibuni nyote in Jesus name.
From Nairobi, Kenya, this is EBN TV.
God has exalted his word above his name. In his word there is hope. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but his word will always remain abide. I encourage you, engage with us as we study together, as you ask your questions, and let your questions be answered as you are built and as you hear God's word. Our church is located in Umoja, Inako, near Olobon Hotel, just off Sango Stage along Moi Drive, and the court is known as Church Court. Give us a visit and your life will not remain the same. God bless you. Let's meet every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. only on EBN television.
Watching EBN TV, transforming your world.
With great love and joy, I specially welcome you to worship with us at Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu. This is a true family church, a true spiritual home. Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu is home to exuberant prayers, deep and true worship. A house of prayer that will leave you feeling refreshed. Our first service starts at 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. and our second service starts at 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Wednesdays, we have our midweek service from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and every Friday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. we have our night of glory. This is the church you have been looking for. This is the place for your spiritual growth and maturity. See you this Sunday and karibu sana.
From Nairobi, Kenya, this is EBN TV.
Good morning and welcome back. Thank you for staying with the Morning Live. It is just about 37 minutes past the hour mark. We are glad that you're still here with us. Now, if it's Friday, we'll try to get very social with some of the issues that are just around the country, and we are particularly focusing on art of modeling this Friday. How is it to be a model? What is modeling all about? These are some of the issues that we'll try to look at this morning. And in studio, I'm joined by a very beautiful guest, Nicole Israel Odhiambo. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm glad that you're here. You look dazzling, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to get us started, Israel, Nicole Israel Odhiambo. Where did the Israel come from?
Israel is my dad's name.
Yeah.
So it's my surname. Actually, Israel Nicole Adhiambo.
Yeah.
Adhiambo.
Oh, Adhiambo.
Adhiambo.
Sorry, Adhiambo.
Yes.
Adhiambo. Yeah.
Israel is my dad's name. So it's my surname.
Yeah.
Yes.
Quite nice. So I just love us to really get started right from, when you were young, growing up.
Yeah.
How was Nicole like,
Okay, growing up, I'd say I was not a fun kid because I grew up in a beautiful family, let me say, of I have 3 siblings. I have 3 sisters, and my family really tried to be a perfect family for me.
Yeah.
But my childhood life was, I'd say it was very tough. Because I used to be a really sickling child in the family, the most sickling child.
Yeah.
And that was rough for my family. Starting school, it was not so common. It was not a life of a common girl because being a sickling girl, and I was so tiny. So I also passed through a lot of body shaming while I was growing up. But yeah, thank God I'm here. The journey was okay.
Would you say growing through that has really played a part in just who you're becoming today? Being a model, just trying to do things the right way. Has that difficult childhood played a part in who you are today?
Definitely it has. And I'd say that being a model actually made me want to be myself. I lived in denial for so long, not accepting the fact that I was too tiny. The body shaming was so bad. But I found an industry that accepted me and treasured me, and an industry that I felt like home. So definitely it has.
Yeah, and you look absolutely beautiful, by the way. And it's sad that it's like it's never enough for society. If you're too tiny, then you're too tiny.
Exactly.
If you're a bit huge, then they say you're fat. The bad word, quote unquote, you're fat, which is so wrong. And so I'd love us to just take a look at where now the modeling started. At what point did you get to have the courage to stand up, walk in front of people, and just do the catwalk? At what point did that all start?
Okay, so all these amazing version of me started at campus. When I was in high school is when actually someone said something positive about myself. And I'll say the guy said, you have an amazing body of a model, but I didn't take that seriously. And then being in a high school that didn't really have much to offer, it was a district school, there was not that exposure. But when I joined campus, that is, I went to Kenya Institute of Mass Communication. That is where my modeling journey began, with me joining the modeling club. And I joined the modeling club just as a club, but got so inspired. Was so happy that I was actually accepted here, and in this club, actually, so many people wanted to be like me. It was like, wow, for the first time, someone wants to be like me. So that is where my modeling journey began, on a pageant of Miss Mass, Miss KMC. It was actually my first runway.
Which year was that?
That was 2019. No, 2020.
2020.
So, 2020. So that was my first beauty pageantry. That was my first time on the runway, and I did amazing because I emerged the second best. That is first runners up, Miss Mass.
Yeah, and I can really imagine it's your first pageant. You're in campus. This is a whole new world where you've got a lot of freedom. How was it? Are there moments where you felt like, no, I can't do this? Were there moments you felt like, I mean, I can do this anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say at first when I joined the modeling club, and then our trainer was like, you have to wear 6-inch double sole heels, and I was like, with this height, and then again 6-inch double sole hinge, wouldn't I be a giant or something? And then I gave up and ran away. So I stayed away for some time, but people kept on pushing me, like, you have a great body, you have a great walk, you can do this. And so I said, okay, why not go back, just give it a try. Walking with 6-inch double sole
I can only
shoes
imagine.
for the first time was so I don't know how to put it, but it was crazy. But I came to I got used to it, and it was sassy, and I loved it. And that is when I decided to continue, and I really loved what I was doing.
You know, as the first pageant that you were to, or the first runway that you were to walk on, and you know, there are so many things that you obviously had to adjust to, including the 6-inch heels. I mean, what other things did you have to change? Maybe what you're eating, or how you're talking, was there something that had to change, and that you were being, you know, taken through training?
Well, I'll say God's favor. For me, I was like a perfect runway model from the go. I didn't need workouts to shape up. I didn't need to exercise or diet, because I was just there with my perfect modeling body. So maybe the only thing I had to adjust to was a little bit dressing and makeup. Because I'd never applied makeup before, actually. Actually, my first pageantry, the Miss Mass pageantry, I went on the runway with no makeup at all. Because
you just felt uncomfortable.
No, I was actually, I'll admit, I was kienyeji, they say, because I didn't know how to apply it. I didn't learn. I don't know.
And you'd look around and, you know, see other models
with
doing their makeup,
perfect makeup, and I'm there with no makeup, just there.
So how did you perform in that first pageant? You know, after going through the runway, and by the way, I understand there are so many outfits you have to try on. So can you just take us through the outfits? You know, what you just had to do, what you're feeling through changing, and then the performance at the end.
So for the Miss Mass particularly, we had like 5 categories, if I can remember. We had the introduction wear is where all models are uniformly dressed in a particular outfit, maybe and it should be an outfit that physically shows your body shape or how you look. So it should be a skinny jeans and maybe a spark top. And then we had Afrofusion wear, that is African print mixed with urban wear. And then another category we had was traditional wear. So you had to choose a traditional tribe to present. And then we had festive wear, where you had to dress to imitate festive. And then lastly we had a dinner wear or prom wear. So this is a dress that imitate what you can go with on a date, on a prom night. So those were the 5 categories. So in modeling, when you are doing these 5 categories, you have to emulate and elaborate how this works. For instance, in a traditional wear, when I'm modeling, the main part is modeling, yes, but at least you can try imitate or explain to people, choreograph what you're trying to present yourself, or how you're trying to present yourself. Yes.
And you know, after that, of course, many pageants perhaps started coming in. So, you know, you've done your first pageant, you're getting the good feedback from people, you're getting a lot of, you know, improve on this, improve on that from, you know, the professionals or those who have trained you. Now there's so many doors opening, more pageants are coming in. So how did that feel? You know, you've now, this is the starting point of now the modeling career. So it is up to you to keep it going. So how did that be like after the first pageant?
Okay. So it's true as you said, the Miss Mass Pageant was my stepping stone in the modeling industry. And after Miss Mass Pageantry, I was noticed by one of the judges who was there, and many more others who approached me. We said 1, 2, 3 on how I can improve my career, on how I can do better. And then I started looking for other pageantries, other pageant competitions that there are, so that I could participate. But also, most importantly, I started branding myself and making myself be known, making myself grow. Yes, so it was not a walk in the park as it was, because as much as I did that, I branded myself. Yes, I was known. Everyone knew me to be that model.
Yes,
most people knew me to be that model. So I did some pageants and some commercials.
Yeah,
I was once conned in this industry.
Oh,
so
really?
Those are, yeah. So
yeah, I'd love to know that story.
One of the shortcomings that I faced, there was a pageant at Nakuru, and I was invited. That was online voting and paying some fee, all that shit. Only for me to, it was during the COVID regime, so only for me to come all the way from Cynhia to Nakuru to find that it was a scam. So that was heartbreaking, and for a moment I thought, okay, I need to just let modeling be. So I took a break for some time. But again, if you really love something, if you have
a passion for
something,
there's
something, or that people around you will keep on pushing you. So people kept pushing me, like, you cannot just stop because of one scalp. I was like, I wasted a lot of money in this. And it's true, if you're a model, you just have to prepare yourself to spend money. So then I continued modeling, but not seriously modeling. Training other models was part of the journey. And then in 2021,
yes,
was it 2022? Sorry, not 2020, 2022 is when I saw an advert of Miss Woswa pageantry.
Yes.
And I got interested because looking at their background of what the roles of Miss Woswa, I was kind of inspired because it's not only about beauty, about glamour, or walking on hills and runways. It's also about what you have in your heart, how people see you, the charities you do, the lives you inspire. So when I heard about Miss Woswa Kenya,
someone must be wondering, what is Woswa in full?
Oh, okay, yeah. WOSWA stands for Women Students Welfare Association. It's an organization of the University of Nairobi. That's its genetics.
Yes.
But it cuts across all colleges and universities in Kenya, and it deals with girl-child empowerment. So when I went and looked at the history of WOSWA and what they do, empowering the girl child, empowering the marginalized children or communities, I said, this is a perfect place to be, not just as a model, but as an icon. And I applied, went to the auditions, qualified. The big day came, and I got the crown.
Yeah. And I can imagine, because you said, your first pageant was in 2020, and so this is like just 2 years later, and then there's this big deal that is happening for the Miss Woswa Kenya.
Yeah.
Did that at any point did you feel like perhaps you're just too young in the industry, or you needed a bit more time because it's just 2 years? Because sometimes the self-doubts can come in. So as you were applying for that advert, as you saw that advert and decided to apply, what was running through your mind?
Okay, as I saw that advert, actually in modeling, the younger you are, the better for you. The older you get, the
difficult it gets.
Exactly.
As well. Yeah.
So I didn't feel like it was not the right time. It was actually perfect timing, because as much as having this first runners-up Miss Mass title, we used to do charity works as well. But then I saw this and figured out if I could get this chance, then I'll be the first hand in doing this charity work. I'll be like an ambassador for them. I'll be like a figure for them. I'll be like their Miss Hospitality for this organization. And with all that this organization did, I felt like it was a perfect place for me to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because of what it also stands for, girl child empowerment. And you say it's an organization or a welfare association that cuts across all universities across the country. So this was getting big. It's not just about the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication. It was getting big. You're meeting so many incredible people for this journey that are part of this association. And, just tell us about the Miss Wosa now, because I can see now you're Miss Woswa. And how did you get here? Because it must have taken a lot of incredible team effort behind it. Yeah.
Yes. It was an incredible team effort, I'd say. And I'd say that Miss Woswa pageantry, from the time we auditioned to the trainings and the big day, it was amazing, and the protocol was good, because it was not just about your beauty, it was not just about catwalk. Before we even went to the main stage, we did a few charity works. We went to schools, spoke to students, or let me say pupils perhaps, because they were monitoring your public speaking skills, confidence. Yes. How can you communicate with people? How is your PR? Can you sell this organization? Can you be our brand? So all those things are being considered. So it was tough as well, because with so many ladies across major universities in Kenya, and I'm only from KIMC.
Nice.
The great KMC. So as much as it was tough, it was a great exposure, really. It was an amazing exposure. And doing that, I really had amazing friends who also helped me achieve this. As I said, modeling is expensive.
Yes.
You have to look for outfits. Buying the outfits, you need money.
From your own pocket.
Exactly, from your own pocket. So if not for my friends and family, I wouldn't have made it, because every time I was down or broke, I'd quickly call home and say, Mom, I have this pageant and I don't have money. Kindly assist. I'd reach out to my friends. There's even a time my friends did a small contribution to me, which I'm really grateful for. Yes, so the friends chipped in, contributed some money. I also had a friend, by then I didn't even know how to apply my own makeup. So I also had a friend who did that for me. She came, applied my makeup. They ensured that I was ready. They were there to give moral support, to give the physical support. And it was an amazing journey, I'd say. It was an amazing journey.
You've talked about training, at Miss for the Miss Mass pageant. You were taken through training for Miss Woswa as well. So what involves in the training? Maybe people are just thinking it's just about the catwalk, but it's much more, So what is in the training?
Okay, so majorly it's catwalk. People may think it's catwalk. In beauty pageantry, you have to have a great walk. Like you need to
be perfect.
Exactly.
Yes.
So catwalk, body posture. You need to know how to pose when you're on a runway. You need to know how to pose, how to do your poses. So it's catwalk, the poses, and then it's also the public relation skills, question and answering skills, Q&A, how you're supposed to answer questions when asked, how you're supposed to respond, how you're supposed to introduce and profile yourself. So that is basically what's in the training.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, you said, it's so much funds are used for modeling because you've got to buy the outfits, don't forget the shoes, don't forget the makeup, and other miscellaneous that is just there. Your parents have really been supportive, I can only imagine they just feel, this is our daughter, we need to support her. So was it difficult at first, or it was just, straight into it, we'll support our daughter, we'll pay it up?
Okay, that's a tricky one.
Yeah.
But I'd say I am one of the most blessed people to have so charming parents, because they've always supported me. They've just always been there. For the Mass pageantry, I did it without their knowledge, but then the crown was home.
Yes.
So with the crown home, going to other pageantries now was not a problem for them. They were there to support. They didn't question.
Amazing. Now let's talk about the modeling itself. You said you're a fashion model. I've seen a lot of, commercial models, runway models. There's also photography models. So they're all different, and they're for fashion. If you could take us through what all these, types of modeling is about, and whether or you would love to, in future perhaps also do something else other than fashion model, perhaps be a photography model or do commercial modeling. So take us through that.
Okay, so as you say, modeling is diverse, and for the record, anyone can be a model, despite your body size or shape or complexion
or height.
Yes, anyone can be a model. You just have to know the kind of modeling you can be, or the category of modeling you best suit. So for beauty pageantry model, that is runway models, you have high fashion modeling and beauty pageantry modeling. In high fashion modeling is where you showcase designs, various designs of clothes. Yes. So most high fashion models are petite and they have great height and strides. Same to beauty pageantry model. Beauty pageantry model is the most common modeling, being Miss Kenya, Miss Mass, Miss all those stuff. That's a beauty pageantry model. So in beauty pageantry model, you also have qualifications, like standard world qualifications of being a beauty pageantry model. You have to be at least 5.8 feet.
5.8.
Yes, at least. Can be taller. And then you have to have a bust size of 34, hip size of 26.
So it's very specific.
Exactly, it's specific. That is minus or plus 2, all those figures. So bust size of 34, minus or plus 2. 26, minus or plus 2 waist. 36, minus or plus 2 hips.
Wow, this is this is incredible. Yeah,
and of course you have to be tall, I said. And you have to have a great walk. Like you have to be so elegant, super elegant. So, and then there is commercial modeling. Anyone can be a commercial model, because commercial modeling involves branding a particular product or maybe company or entity. Yes, so you do that for some cash, of course. So I can be a commercial modeling, for instance, showcasing clothes or being a brand ambassador for a company.
Yes.
And then we have glamour modeling. For you to be a glamour model, you have to be be beautiful, like beauty at top notch. It's all about beauty. So most glamour models are really beautiful, and they have curves, great shapes, great perfect figure.
So it's about the glamour, what people see.
It's about what people see. Yeah.
I've heard of Instagram model before. Is that a thing?
Not really. Instagram model. No, it's not a thing. But we also have part models. Part models, you just use a part of your body to brand something. Maybe your wrist or your neck, maybe necklace, or your ear. That's a part modeling. Lingerie models who showcase lingeries. And many more.
So I'm so glad that it's diverse. And you when we talked, you said you're a fashion model. So would you love to perhaps explore to these other categories of modeling, and which one are you interested in more?
Actually, for a fashion model like me, it will be easy to cross in commercial modeling or part modeling. Because in commercial modeling, as I explained what it is, it's easy to explore on that side. Yes. For probably glamour modeling, I don't have the shapes.
Oh, come on.
Because for you to be a glamour, you have to have a perfect figure. It's called a hologlass figure. Hologlass figure. Yes.
Just the exact shape of a hologlass.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, so for a lot of people, growing up, you'd be told, what do you want to be when you grow up? And when you say modeling, they tell you that is not a career. You need to pick things like engineering, be a doctor, do something else. So far, can you confidently say model is a career that pays huge if you get it right?
I'd say modeling is a career that pays huge, but not in Kenya.
But not in Kenya.
That's not in Kenya.
I mean, why not Kenya?
Kenya modeling industry is not that diverse. It's still on its knees. People have not embraced modeling as a career in our country. People still have so many beliefs, so many concepts about modeling. Most people don't accept modeling as a career. But as we are now, it's trying to evaluate, but it's not there yet. Because there's so many scammers yet in the industry. So many scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Yes.
So we are not there yet as a country, modeling being a career. So much corruption.
For now, it's a bit training.
For now, it's bit training, and it's not something you will leave your career for. It's something you could do as a part-time thing or second option.
Yes.
But I'd say it's not something I'd do as my main career, major part of it.
So I understand in Kenya we have, I've seen the Miss World Kenya. I've seen so many other like Miss County. Is this something that you'd also love to perhaps one day hit that jackpot, go for the auditions of Miss World Kenya? That could be a dream come true, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could be a dream come true. I actually applied for Miss World Kenya 2023. Yeah, but I didn't go for the auditions, so I didn't continue with it, but I just applied. Because as I said, for you to go that big, you really need finances and strong support. You really need, if you don't have that much money, you need the sponsorship as well. So if you're not in a position to, just maybe let those who can do
Go
it.
ahead.
But it's really something I'd have loved to try. But again, because of so many reasons, I'm still chilled.
Yeah. Now, we are talking about finances. And, apart from parents and friends and relatives coming in, what sort of sponsors are we talking about when we say a model who's got, sponsors to take her through these prestigious competitions like the Miss World Kenya, what sort of sponsors are we talking about?
We have organizations that sponsors models as well, like Ashley's. Ashley's is a brand that sponsors models. Just there are organizations that can sponsor models. These brands.
Yeah.
A good example is Ashley. Let me just say, or Darling. These organizations or entities that deals with the beauty products.
Yeah, beauty products.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is incredible. Now, as you look forward to the future and so many things you could do, I'm also aware that you apart from modeling, you also went to KMC to study something different. So it's like you have two careers essentially. You have got the modeling career. You've also got what you studied for. How has it been balancing that?
I'd say it's been amazing. Why? Because I studied video film production, camera option. So I'm a director of photography, and this is modeling.
Yeah.
Both are arts. So they just magically synchronize together.
Yes.
Doing two arts, that's modeling and being a DOP, they just magically synchronize together. Being a model gives me ideas of let's say for instance how I can even arrange my scene, or the characterization, how I can implement the characterization of a character when then I'm serving as probably a director, because once you are in film, you are a filmmaker, you can yes.
Yeah. And was it it's almost as if it was destiny. It was just meant to be, go to Kenya Mass, do video editing, film, director of photography, then you're doing modeling. It's as if it was destiny. Have you met people who've told you, I mean, come on, why can't you just focus on one, just focus on the one you went to school for, leave this other one? Have you met people like that?
I've not really met people like that. But I think I'll be honest that my film career has, to some point, consumed my modeling career, because now I major in the film industry than I do in the modeling industry. Yeah. So it has I've really slumbered in this modeling side. Yeah. But I'm planning to bounce back, at least do something. Yeah, because people have been complaining, we no longer see you. What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
What happened?
Yeah, in fact, I was actually looking, at your Instagram page, and I just thought, she's been doing quite a lot in the past, but for the last few months or so, you've been perhaps, focusing on the film world. Yeah. Now, modeling has got a lot of misconceptions. People tend to think they must be eating certain foods, not eating others, which could be true. People tend to think, there's this song, I just love to pinpoint it out, a singer called Beyonce sang, it's called Pretty Hearts. And she sort of was trying to reflect on what modeling is and how hard it could be. But there are also misconceptions as well. What is the biggest misconception that people have about modeling?
That I've heard of, most people think that most people assume that if you are a model, probably, sorry to say this, but you are a commercial sex worker, or a prostitute, or a stripper. So, especially at the village, people really see the modeling career as an ethical career. Something that you would not want your child to get into, and that is very bad, because that is not the case, and modeling is really a beautiful career. Yes.
As a brand, as Nicole Israel Adhiambo, as a brand, what would you say is one thing you stand for that you'd love to change? People, when you get into it, they ask, what do you want to do? People say, I want to promote, child health care. I want to promote this and that. So for you as a brand, what do you stand for?
For me, still linking to Oswa. I just want to see a lady in an marginalized place have a smile and hope, and because she can now go to school and she can now afford sanitary towels, because that has really been a big deal. Yeah, and in my reign as Miss Oswa, I really did so much to ensure that took place.
Yeah.
A lot of pad drives, and as well as going to, how are they called, rehabilitation centers.
Yes.
And just sitting down with these the guys that have been rehabilitated, listening to their story and conversing with them. It has really been a life changer for me.
So it's modeling with a purpose.
Exactly.
Not just modeling, for the sake of you have a good body or you have a good smile and just modeling for it.
Yeah.
And, somebody's watching you who wants to get into this and sees you as such an inspiration, particularly having stated that you've gone through a rough childhood, which has played a part to what you are now, who you are now, and what you stand for, or the kind of brand you stand for right now. So, as much as it's difficult financially to survive in the modeling world, what would you tell somebody?
I'd say, if you want to do something, just do it. You think of something, you say, okay, I think I can do this, but unless you make a step, unless you make the effort, it's just a thinking. So the person should just make the effort of doing this. It just takes a step. It doesn't have to be a big pageant, it doesn't have to be something big, but first and foremost, know the kind of modeling you want to do. After knowing the kind of modeling you want to do, then brand yourself.
Branding.
Yes, brand yourself. Let people see what you want them to see. Like, okay, I'm Israel. If you see me, what do you see in me?
Yes.
So after branding yourself, take that step. And surely, if it's for you, it's for you.
It's for you.
Yeah.
So modeling is so wide. We've got a lot of models in Kenya, beyond the borders. Who is that one model you look up to, and when you see her on runways or on, magazines, anywhere you just go, one day I want to be something like her, be a version of Nicole, but as well as like her? Who's that one model you look up to?
There is a model called Higwit Marara. She's a South African model, commercial model to be precise. I see that lady and I'm like, I'm getting there.
That's her, yeah.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've actually spoke to her in person.
Yes.
Through the phone. Actually, it was my uncle who connected us because he saw I'm trying to pursue this career, and then he connected me to this amazing lady called Higwit Marara. Is a South African model, really nice lady. Yeah.
Now, modeling is changing as well. We now have the plus size models. That is something, while growing up wasn't there, but it got to a point now we started incorporating them. How has that been a life changing policy for many in the modeling world to just introduce the plus size models?
Introduction of plus size model as a runway part of modeling has been amazing, and at least it has not cut out our fellow Plumby sisters who are models. So I think it has been a great revolution in the modeling industry, and it's a great revolution. Only that when people do plus size modeling, it It's just a category on its own.
Yeah.
It's just plus size modeling.
Yeah, so let no people think that as a petite you can cross over to the other side, as a plus you can cross over to the other side.
It's not logistic. When you're a beauty pageant model and you want to go international, you just have to maintain the standards. Actually, in most of our local pageantries, they at times they swear in those who are not qualified as an international beauty pageant model, and it passes. But you'll be sworn in, yes, but when you go international, things may not work or will not work, because every modeling category has its specifications. Yes.
Now, let's talk about the male gender in modeling. People, a lot of men are coming up now to do modeling. And as Miss Waswa Kenya, was there Mr. Waswa Kenya?
No.
Because it is a women association.
Yeah, it's a women
but for like
association.
Miss Mass, there was a Mr. Mass.
Yeah.
So for men, how are they keeping up in the industry from where you sit?
It's tough for them. For most, it's so tough. Actually, even during the trainings of Mr. Maza, you can remember, we only have a few guys and then so many ladies. So I think most of the gents have not accepted the fact or have not appreciated the modeling industry. That is why most of them are shying away from being models. But as at now, we have a few men who are taking up the mantle and are great models. But as for the men as well, it's not easy, because again, you have to be physically fit, again tall,
dark and handsome. Is that a thing?
Dark and handsome, but it also depends with the category of male model you have. For instance, when you're a flex model,
it's just about the muscles.
Exactly. You have to have the muscles, you have to have the
abs,
biceps, the abs. Exactly. Yes.
So that is incredible. So I'd love us to take a break, because my director is so much insisting she wants to see you catwalk here. So I'd love us to take a break, ladies and gentlemen. But when we come back, Nicole here will be doing 1, 2, 3 steps. And who knows, I could join in as we wrap up the show on just modeling and what the future is looking like for her. So we take that break. We'll be back in just a bit.
From Nairobi, Kenya. This is EBN TV.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe, watazamaji wa EBN. Kwa majina naitwa Pastor Julius Mutuko, na nataka kukaribisha kwa kipindi ambacho tutakuwa tukisikiliza neno la Mungu kila siku ya Ijumaa na Jumamosi, kuanzia saa 3:30 jioni hadi saa 4:30 kila siku kwa lisali moja. Na hivyo tukiangazia true worship ama kuabudu halisi, ambapo tukiangalia Biblia kitabu cha Yohana 4:23-24, Yesu alipokuwa akiongea na mwanamke Msamaria, alimwambia wakati unakuja ambapo watu watamwabudu Baba katika roho na kweli. Kwa maana Baba ni roho, ama Mungu ni roho, na yuwatafuta watu kama hao ili wakamwabudu. So nami tukaweze kujua kuabudu halisi ni nini kwa siku hizo. Karibuni nyote in Jesus name. Asanteni.
With great love and joy, I especially welcome you to worship with us at Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu. This is a true family church, a true spiritual home. Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu is home to exuberant prayers, deep and true worship. A house of prayer that will leave you feeling refreshed. Our first service starts at 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. and our second service starts at 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Wednesdays, we have our midweek service from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and every Friday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. we have our night of glory. This is the church you have been looking for. This is the place for your spiritual growth and maturity. See you this Sunday and karibu sana.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with Morning Live. Now, as I said before the break, it is about time that we let our hair down, and that is why we are standing. And we will be, not me, well, I need to clarify that. Nicole here will try to just, show you what are the basics of catwalking, what you need to know. And so, Nicole, take it away, please. I'll just observe.
Okay, I'll just do some few steps.
Okay.
Okay, so most importantly, the posture.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go. Like straight.
Mm-hmm. So there's the turning and swirling.
Yeah. And then you sign out nicely.
So if you could take that again so that, we could get a much closer look of, the smiles, did you say chest up?
Yeah, chest up.
We need all of that.
Yeah. Very important is you take it off, then you walk. Then I'll do a step and turn. And then for the head last. And then I sign out.
Oh, wow. So, I can imagine, it's the 6-inch heels.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What happens, if you're trying to turn and then the feet refuse to turn? Does that ever happen on the runway?
It happens, yes.
Mm-hmm.
At times you can fall, but it's all about training. When you train, you get perfect. You can flip, you can do a 360. And so many times.
A 360?
Yes.
With a 6-inch?
Yes.
Oh, so assuming now I'm like a new student, what is the first thing I need to do as a new student who now wants to learn how to model? What is the first thing I do?
As a new student,
put my phone,
you need to know how to pose.
Uh-huh.
So pausing before
anything else, yeah.
So generally, legs apart.
Legs apart.
Then bust out.
Bust out.
Then you have to hold your waist like someone is hugging you from behind.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. Then you don't model when you're straight like this. So you have to turn this way.
So I have to turn this way.
And then do a T. It's called a T shape.
The feet?
Yes, the feet should be T.
The feet goes T shape.
Yes, so it's a T posture.
Yeah.
And then you see the face should chin up.
Chin up.
So chin up. Then smile.
Smiling.
And then off we go.
I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, this is an improvement of where I was before. And then after you've done the catwalk.
So there are two turns.
Mm-hmm.
There is a step and turn.
A step and turn.
But when you step and turn, you have to maintain head last.
Okay.
So your head should be the last thing turning. So step and turn, then you go back, your head being the last. Yes.
Wow, disclaimer, she's the professional, I'm not. So as we wrap it up, Nicole, I know we're out of time. What is the future of Nicole? Where, if you could step just a bit here, where do you see yourself in the next few months, few years, let's say?
I'd say I see myself in international runways. That is what I'm working on. Sorry to say, but I'm not really focusing on the Kenya industry model because of one or two, three reasons. Because I've told you the modeling industry of our country is somehow rough.
Yeah.
But my film career is soon taking me abroad. And when abroad, I'm going to focus now on my modeling career there.
Yeah.
So very soon, definitely I'll be on the international runways.
That's such a great vision, and we do hope that the Kenya modeling industry stakeholders can just listen in and feel your point of view as an upcoming model going through that. And there are so many, of course, who would love to join the industry, but they just don't know how. So finally, as we wind it up, you can close the show and just tell us a few things here and there, what you're telling the young people. And then I'm just, today, guys, I'm not the one closing it. She will be closing it, walking it away as I step aside. So wind it up, yeah.
So I walk it.
Just talk to the people, say the final words to those who are watching you, young kids who want to do modeling or who are modeling, as well as parents, the kind of support they need to give their children. Yeah.
Okay. Hi everyone watching, this is your girl Israel Nicole. It's so amazing to be here. For those of us who wants to model, who are inspiring to model, you can do this. Modeling is an amazing art. It's a beautiful art. And it's really an art that will make you go places. Personally, it has changed my life. It has made me accept that being skinny can be magical, and it's magical. I'm so proud of myself, and I want to tell you that if you want to join modeling industry, don't be afraid. Just take a bold step and look for a mentor who will help you through with it. Thank you so much, and be blessed.
Thank you so much. Nicole Israel Adhiambo is the name. I said Odhiambo. I'm so sorry. It is Adhiambo. Nicole Israel Adhiambo. Thank you for coming in. You're beautiful the way you are. And to all as well who want to get into this industry, you just need to put your head up, put your chin up, and just go for it. Get the right people around you, the right support system, and you're good to go. I'm Cynhia Nanjala, and that is where we wrap it up. But we're closing it off with Nicole walking in this beautiful runway of ours, or makeshift runway of ours. Until next time, thank you for your company. Nicole, let's do this now.
Okay.
The feet. My God, just do it.
Okay.
Yes.
Turn.
Oh, wow. The feet.